Hello, it's me again, Freeman Achi is the name, and I want to thank you for being a part of today's broadcast. So this is just a continuation of the video we already have on the internet that talks about modeling in the aspect of women, the things that are modeled in front of them, how that they take what is modeled in front of them and they begin to apply it in their homes and how things begins to fall apart. So it's a very interesting video, and for some reason, we just had to, it's still the same video, but we had to break the video into part 1 and part 2 for some reasons that were beyond our control. But so if you haven't seen that video, I'll encourage you to go see that video. Then the part 2 is going to make sense, because the part 2 is just going to pick up the conversation from where left off in the other video. So it's just the same video, but like I said, we had to break the video into part 1 and part 2 because of how lengthy the video was. So you might want to go see that video, the part 1 of that video, before you come see this one. Then the message is going to make sense. So I'm going to get out of your way right now, and I want you to see this video. So everybody that you meet that have stayed in marriage for a very long time, they have a different story to share. They have a different thing to tell you about what has kept their marriage this long. If they are open enough to tell you and they love you enough to tell you, they'll tell you, there was this time in my marriage that we were having issues all the time. I was having issues all the time with my husband, and they'll start telling you about where understanding has to come in. And so a lot of marriages is cracking today or breaking today because there is something that is called understanding that is no longer there anymore. You understand? So when you come into the man's life and you begin to see some certain things that are not right that are not right in the man's life, instead of finding a way to fix it, instead of finding a way around it and to work on it, the only option that comes to your mind is just to leave. And that has been it has been a norm in our society today, where it is easy for a lady to just up and leave in her marriage. Sometimes the only thing that would have saved your marriage is for you to go to your husband and say you're sorry. But your favorite celebrity has told you over and over again that no man deserves to be worshipped. You know, your role model or your favorite celebrities, you have seen a video of how they talk about men and how they say that men are nothing. And so you think that telling your husband that you're sorry means that you are no longer the big girl or the boss lady that you're supposed to be anymore. And so your marriage crash, and you begin to wonder, what happened? Why did my marriage crash? What was the thing I didn't do right? No. All of those things that crashed your marriage were things that that you copied from your role model, your internet role model, your celebrity role model. Those are the things that crashed your marriage. I'm telling you. And so whenever you hear that, so one of the things again that should help you whenever you're listening to some of these old people tell you about their story and what has kept their marriage for this long, there is something that is called arrogance that is common among young ladies these days, that they just cannot drop. Because when the lady start telling you, when the woman start telling you that, okay, what has kept my marriage for this past 25 years or 30 years, so it's because I used to worship my husband. I don't disrespect my husband. My husband always have the final say. I listen to my husband. Whatever my husband tells me to do, I do it. When you start listening to all of those things, you start thinking, one of the things that comes to the mind of young ladies these days is that they start thinking that, no, she must be very, very timid. How can you be listening to him? Is it all the time that he's correct? Is it all the time that he's saying the right thing? How can you always listen to him? How can you always allow him to control you? But those things that you call timidity, those things that you call them being archaic, those things that you call being out of style, are things that has kept their marriage for that long. But you're a big girl, you are in a society where nobody should kill himself because of any man. Nobody should kill himself because of any relationship. And so you leave your marriage. One thing I have to advise you young ladies that are listening to me these days is that relationship is work, marriage is work. It's work. It's a big deal. It's work. And so if you're not ready to put in the work, don't even think about going into marriage. Some people going into marriage, they are not ready to go into marriage. Like I said, one of the proof that you're ready is how many marriage seminars have you attended? How many marriage talks have you listened to? How many books about marriages have you read? That is how I know you're prepared for marriage. You don't just get up and say, okay, you want to marry because you have a lot of suitors that are asking for your hand in marriage. Or maybe, the guy is rich, the guy has money, he is well-to-do. You think you're ready for marriage. That shouldn't be the reason why you want to marry. Some people want to get married because, my friends are getting married. My friends are getting married these days. Let me also get married. For some people, that is the whole reason why they want to get married, because their friends are getting married. That is just why they want to get married. That should not be the reason why you want to get married. It shouldn't be the reason. It shouldn't be the reason. When you think about marriage, I've seen, you see, let me tell you something. A man is so easy. Some women who has found a way around their marriage, some of them, they take care of their man to the point that their husband begins to call them mama. That is another level. When you take care of your husband to the point that your husband start to call you mommy, he start to call you mama, that is another level. And all of those things cannot happen when you are arrogant and when you're not teachable. When you're not teachable. So by the time, what am I trying to say? I am not saying that you should know it all before you get married. I am not saying that you should have a PhD, in marriage counseling before you go into marriage. No. I'm saying that when you go into marriage, have a mind to be teachable. There was this office I was working for one time, and they organized a seminar for the staff. It's something they do from time to time. And one of the instructors, when he came up to talk, he said, you have to purge yourself of everything you know. That way you get to receive what we have for you. Because if you come with the idea of what you know, you might not be able to embrace the new things that we are bringing to you, because you'll be stuck holding on to your old theologies, holding on to your own way and old concept of doing things. And meanwhile, we are bringing, and whenever an institution decides to do a training, right, like that for their staff, the training is always designed within the framework, within the work ethics of that office. And so whatever you think that you know that is outside that office, no matter how good it is, it might not really help the business, or it might not really help the company that you're working with, because when it comes to that company, there is a strategy that the company has devised that can help the company maximize its potential, that can help the company to reach its goal. And so the instructor was telling us to purge ourselves of everything that we have learned. So it is about marriage. Whenever you get into marriage, or whenever you go into marriage, don't go into marriage with all the things that you have heard that people say about men, how that men are dogs, how that men are not faithful, how that it's not easy for a man to keep to one woman. When you go into marriage, I want you to understand that every marriage or every relationship is unique in its own way. That means that the struggle your friend's relationship is having, it's different from the struggle your own relationship is having. That means that you are dating a different person from who your auntie dated, from who your uncle dated, you're dating a different person, or you're married to a different person. You're not married to the same kind of man that your mama in church is married to. You understand? Your husband is a different person. And so when you go in with an intention, or with a mind that is teachable, a mind that can learn and unlearn and relearn, when you go in with that kind of mind, your marriage is going to be successful. Why? Because you are not coming in with an idea. What you're coming in is that, please, this is who I am. If there's anything you don't know about me, or if there's anything you don't like about me, let me know and I'll change. If there's any way you want me to be doing stuff, teach me and I'd like to learn. That is the mind that you should go into marriage with. And if you begin to study about the things that has helped the marriage of our parents is that our parents, when during the days our parents got married to their husband, they saw their husband as their second father. I'm telling you, go back and ask your mom will tell you. They see their man, they introduce their husband to them as their second father. A man takes a woman into his life that he wants to marry as his daughter. And so who is my daughter? Who is my daughter? How do I treat my daughter at home? I treat my daughter with all the love and respect that she deserves. I give her that love, I give her that respect because my daughter does not compete with me in any way or form. My daughter knows her position. My daughter knows that she is my daughter. And she knows that she holds a position in my heart that she's not contending with anybody. The level of love that I have for my daughter will never diminish because whenever she comes to me as my own daughter. And I have to treat her as my own daughter. And so that is the reason why the marriage of our parents succeeded. It succeeded because our mothers, they knew their place. They knew who they are. When they came into the marriage, for some of you, you will still remember things like honey, sweetheart were not common amongst our parents. I grew up hearing my mom call my dad Papa, the same Papa I used to call my dad. I heard my mom calling my dad the same name, Papa Asia. That is how my mom called my dad. These were things because our parents, our mom, they knew their place. They knew how they came in. They knew how their parents handed them over to be married. When their parents handed them over, I told them, he said, take care of her as your own daughter. That was how they were handed over. And so when they came in as a daughter to that man before their wife, before they ever became their wife. And so they knew their place from that level. Now ask yourself this question: how does a man treat his daughter? And why does the man shows the daughter so much kind of love? If you can be able to decode the relationship between a father and a daughter and begin to walk your way around it and begin to see yourself, and stop seeing yourself as, a wife figure, a wife. Some of you are so filled with this figurativeness that I'm a wife. This is how my husband should treat me. My husband should adore me this way. If you stop seeing yourself like that and start seeing yourself from the place of a daughter, there is an aspect in the man's life or in your husband's life that you will never get to experience until you see yourself from that level. Who is your daughter? Have you ever watched a man shows the daughter love? Have you ever watched a man show a daughter? The love between a father and a daughter, it's a different kind of love. It's sweet. You look at the love, there is no competition around the love. Why? Because the daughter is not struggling to be something that she is not. Why? Because the father is not struggling to be something that he's not. The daughter is not putting any pressure, on the dad for the dad, to be something that he's not. The daughter loves the father regardless of who the father is. That is the secret why the marriage of our parents lasted for that long. But now it's different today, because when a woman gets married to the man, she comes in and she begins to claim equality with the man. She begins to she wants to stand head and shoulder with the man inside the home. And so by the time the man no longer sees you anymore as a woman. He no longer sees you anymore from a place of love. He sees you from a place of competition, because now you're trying to measure up. You're trying to tell him, you are also capable of doing this kind of thing. You're also capable of, taking care of things on your own, that you don't need. When you begin to show a man that you don't need him and all of that, and you begin to prove a certain kind of way, and you begin to, boss up around him, you begin to, you start behaving like a man, will allow you to start behaving like a man and will start to treat you like a fellow man. And so that is why it looks as if a lot of relationship, the man no longer shows you love anymore. You have forgotten your place. You have forgotten your place. If I was staying with a fellow man inside my house, how do you expect me to show that fellow man I'm staying inside my house? How do you expect me to show him the same kind of love that I will show to my daughter Or how do you expect me to show him the same kind of love that I'll show to somebody that loves me, that have respect for me, that is loyal to me? How do you expect me to show them the same kind of love? It is not possible. And so some of you right now, the reason why your marriage is not working, or the reason why you are struggling in your relationship, is because you are claiming the position of the man in that relationship. Go and learn how to be a daughter. Go and learn the relationship between a father and a daughter. If you have to be successful in your relationship, or this video is going to help you a lot. If you have to be successful in your relationship, the message today to you is go and learn the relationship between a father and a daughter. Go and learn it. In fact, use yourself as an example. What was your relationship like between your father and your father and you? How did you love your father? What was the thing that you knew about your father and you still loved your father? Some of you, your dads are conductors, your parents are conductors, you love them. You are proud of them. Some of you, your father does not have a white collar job. Some of you, your father does menial jobs, and you still love them. Some of you, your dads are mechanic. But yet when you hear the mention of father, or when they call you, or when you go around them, there is this love that you have for them that cannot be shaken. So what am I trying to say? The same kind of love that you showered on your father, on your dad, knowing very well that he was just a bus driver, and you loved him the same way. You loved him so much that when he comes back from work, you pick his clothes and you wash them. The clothes were not designers, but you took pride in washing your father's clothes. The clothes were not always smelling nice, but you sit down and you wash them nice and clean for him. That is the love I'm talking about. The love that you showed to your father, to the point that whenever your father comes back home, whatever amount of money your father gives you, you go to the market and you prepare a delicious meal that you give your father. When you dish the meal, your father has a very special plate in the house that you put food for your dad. You put it with respect and regard for him. You serve him that way. That is how you treated your father. Your father, your parents, your dad is there. See, the relationship, the reason I feel why God made the relationship between the father and the daughter to be so much unconditional is because through your dad and the way you relate with your dad, God is using it to teach you that when you get to the house of your husband, that is how you should treat your husband. That is how you should carry your husband. Your dad was so perfect that when you sit down to talk about your dad, you can say nothing negative about your dad. I'm telling you, that is how much you love your dad. That is how much you love your dad, and that is how much you can talk about your dad, and that is how much of the things you can say around your dad. Oh, you love your dad so much. He comes back from work, you have already warm water for him, and you tell him, Daddy, please come and take your bath. You make sure your dad baths before he goes to sleep. When your dad tells you, oh, take this money, go to so place and buy this thing for me, you go sharpenly to go and buy it. When your dad is sick, you know how uncomfortable you can be until you make sure that your dad is back on his feet again. That is the relationship that you should take into marriage. When you see your husband, when your husband comes in, when a man comes to marry you, takes you home as the wife, maintain the place of a daughter. Maintain the place of a daughter. That is the only way that marriage can profit you. That is the only way you can enjoy that marriage. My daughter does not have to beg me for me to do anything for her. My daughter does not have to stress for me to do anything for her. Because she is my daughter, I do things for her because I love her. I do it from the place of love because she knows how to be my daughter. My daughter will never stand in front of me and abuse me or disrespect me. That is how much of a daughter she is to me. Whenever I comes back from work, she knows how to throw herself around me. Daddy, welcome, 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 welcome. Daddy, how are you? She knows how to play with me. Some of you does not even know how to play with your husband. Whenever your husband comes back from home, your husband comes to this face that is so tight, as if you are one boss that is coming back, to submit account to. The man is out there, struggling. Whenever it's time for him to go back home, there's something about him that his mood just changes, because he knows that the joy is getting outside outweighs what he's coming back home to meet. He knows that when he comes back home, there is a titan at home that is waiting for him. There is a boss lady at home that is waiting for him. He knows that he's coming back to meet a fellow man in the house, that they are staying in the same hostel together. And so everything about the man changes. That is not the feeling a man has when he knows that he's going home to his daughter. That's not the feeling we have. When a man knows that he's going back home to the daughter, it's a thing of joy to go back home to your daughter. Oh my God. Daddy, welcome. That smile, that hug is priceless. And so my message to you young ladies out there today is, go back and learn how to be a daughter. Disconnect yourself from all of these people, your online celebrities. Disconnect yourself from them. They are not giving you the right concept. They are not, what they are modeling in front of you is not going to help your marriage. It's not going to help your marriage. Some of you listening at me right now has left your marriage. You have left your marriage over some of these things that we are talking about today, and you're regretting it. You're regretting it. Because now you are in the arms of people who does not value you, who want to take advantage of you. Because now people are only coming just for the fun, just for the pleasure, but there is no commitment anymore. You have left your place for somebody else, and now you cannot get it back. I wouldn't want this to be an experience of any young lady that is listening to me right now. I wouldn't want this to be an experience to any young married couple that is listening to me right now. My message to you ladies out there is, learn how to be a daughter first. Learn how to be a daughter to your husband. To your husband. Learn how to, take the place of a daughter. You know how you took care of your father. You take his nails that are very dirty, that are squeezing, that are rough. You take his nails, you take his legs, you put them on your lap, and you cut his nails. That is how much love you showed to him. You do his pedicure and manicure for him. That is how much you loved your father. Love your husband the same way. Love him the same way. Show the same affection. Show the same affection. Show the same respect you give to your father, give it to your husband. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope that this video helps you. I hope that this message is not just one of those videos you just listen to and you just dump it around the corner. My prayer is that this video is going to help you. All right, that is it for today. I want to thank you guys for watching. You made it this far. Hey, why not leave a comment for me in the section below? We'll be making videos like this, I don't know for how long. We have videos where we talked about the men aspect. Now we're dealing with the women in this episode. I want you to like and comment and share this video to your friends. Very, very important, share this video to your friends, because there are some things that you will not be able to tell your friends, but when you share this video to them and they listen to the video, they might find a thing or two in the video that can help them. So please like, share, subscribe. And when you subscribe, turn on the post notification, because I want you to be the first person to know when I post the next video. Thank you so very much for your time. I'll see you guys in the next one.